There is a cause today that is much greater than you or I, Jack. There is a force that we have the ability to get behind and possibly change the landscape of the wrestling industry.
Okay, I'm listening.
Mojo Rawley put out a tweet asking who he should share his stories with. And I believe this is greater than us, you or I. It's greater than any interview we've ever done. What? People have said, get Mojo Rawley on Desert Island Graps. People have said to Ross, get Mojo Rawley on Straight to Hell. No, this is bigger than all of us. We need to get Mojo Rawley with Adam Pacitti.
Yeah, I was going to say he's about 6'4" bigger than us. Is it about that?
It is 6'4" bigger than us, right? Here's what we need to do. Hashtag get Mojo to Adam Pacitti. We have the power today to make something magical happen. I believe if Mojo Rawley and Adam Pacitti meet via the Zoom call, then a lot of the wrongs in the wrestling world will be righted.
Okay, I agree.
So, use the hashtag get Mojo to Adam Pacitti, and thank you for changing the wrestling world forever. Was that hyperbolic enough? I don't think it was. Here is your wrestling news. Andrade's shocking first post-WWE match has been revealed. A former AEW wrestler announces a very sudden retirement. And a new stable is debuting in NXT soon. We'll talk about that in a bit. Andrade has been a conversation piece for the last several months across the wrestling world since he decided to leave WWE behind, asked for his release, got his release unconditionally, off he goes. We now know his first opponent post-WWE, and it's a shocker. It's somebody that probably wasn't front of mind when you were thinking, who's going to be the first person to face Andrade? Who is Andrade squaring up to in the forthcoming months, Jack?
It's a controversial one, certainly, Tom. It's Alberto El Patron or Alberto Del Rio, which I have no doubt for Mexican wrestling, first of all, is a bit of a dream match. That's pretty crazy. But obviously, Del Rio's awaiting criminal charges at the moment, and it all seems very, very strange. This comes courtesy of Del Rio himself, who told Super Luchas for the first time they're going to see what people on the internet have been asking for a long, long time. Andrade against Alberto Del Rio. I don't think we have ever seen a poster of such magnitude featuring two Mexican stars in Texas, because this event is set to be in McAllen, Texas on July 31st. But obviously Del Rio is going to be standing trial on May 3rd. So I have no real idea what's going on here.
It's
Tom,
certainly an interesting turn of events. Aggravated kidnapping and assault charges are what Del Rio stands to face trial for. Could potentially change the outcome of everything going on. Del Rio, despite this upcoming court case, is carrying on regardless, not only with the match aforementioned, but bringing back Nestion Lucha Libre, the promotion that he co-founded with Chavo Guerrero. This will be the first event back since last January for the promotion. It'll be headlined by Andrade and Alberto Del Rio, but will also feature former WWE stars Primo, Epico, and recently released Kalisto will be part of the show as well. So there's some big names. I mean, Epico, for one, is an epic name.
Yeah,
he's literally got it in his name. But he's loading this card up, is Del Rio and is Chavo as well, to make this a standout event on the 31st of July.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for all of the, the controversial background and everything, I'd be quite excited by this promotion. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there, because promotions often get criticised for focusing too much around ex-WWE names and stuff like that. But a lot of those names that we've mentioned haven't really been given kind of a fair shake in WWE. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what they do next. But as I mentioned, the overriding theme here is certainly the fact that Del Rio is facing Andrade after he's set to stand trial.
We keep you up to date at cultaholic.com on that one. Next, former AEW wrestler has said farewell via Instagram. We're talking about Sadie Gibbs this morning, who hasn't worked for AEW for quite some time. When the world shut down, unfortunately, being from this part of the world, she was unable to travel back and forth to the States to take part in AEW. She was released from her contract back in August, and she made a life decision that she shared on Instagram last night, saying, "It's been a really confusing year and a half for me, but I've always been good at following my instincts and letting go and having nothing but grace in the path ahead of me. I've decided in order for me to excel in my new endeavors, coaching, speaking, teaching, being the leader," that's Adam Pacitti, "which I've always been, I have to let go and set my intentions on what it is I want from my life and where I see long-term sustainable fulfillment." She goes on to say that she is retiring from the wrestling world and she is going to be focusing her efforts instead on her self-development book, Remain Undefinable, I believe is the working title. She'll also be working in the acting realm as well, looking to star in short films with some action movies as well. She's very much visualizing some of the big goals that she wants for her career going forward. But sad to see Sadie Gibbs leave the wrestling world behind, though, Jack.
I'm very sad about this one. I don't know whether it's just English bias because she's, from England and it was cool to see her do things on a grand level, but she seemed so full of potential and so raw. Like she was really unpolished, but it was awesome. Like she just wasn't. I read an interview with Sadie Gibbs once where she was talking about how she turned up for wrestling training and knew nothing. Didn't even know the basics that people might have some idea with, even if they've never done training before. She had no idea and had to fight through all of the kind of judgment that she encountered because she was just so new to the business. But that was really exciting because she was a bit unorthodox. She wasn't following, the standard rules that everybody follows just by virtue of it being firmly embedded. And I think that had she continued, we might have seen her achieve some pretty special things. She's obviously got an incredible drive, but if being a wrestler isn't her ultimate goal, who are we to say, that she should carry on doing it? But I was really sad about this one.
We send our best to Sadie Gibbs moving forward in whatever you choose to do next. Who knows? Maybe a return to wrestling wouldn't be off the cards. You know, a lot of times when people step away from wrestling, they kind of get that itch again. And it wouldn't shock me if that itch returned. And on the subject of returns, fans back at wrestling shows, something that we've talked about for the last, since the world shut down last year, basically. We had a great fan presence at WrestleMania, and it looks as if we're looking to SummerSlam to next time see wrestling fans in attendance doing all the chanting. However, it could be sooner if a tweet from WrestleVotes is anything to go by, Jack.
Yes, because WrestleVotes have said a major topic last night, well, they tweeted this yesterday, of course, so a major topic last night, on Monday, at Raw, was the packed house over the weekend at the UFC pay-per-view. While not many superstars are advocating for 100% capacity, nearly everyone feels as though live crowds could return in some form at some time. And then I believe that Mitch, the editor-in-chief of Cultaholic.com, has provided us with figures regarding the UFC event, saying that there was a reported attendance of over 15,000 at UFC 261 in Jacksonville. In Florida, that's where it's all kicking off. So this could be a big benchmark, I guess, or a big signpost for WWE that maybe they really should bring crowds back. From what I understand, and I've not seen the UFC event, it was a very exciting one. I don't know how much of that was down to the actual action and how much of that was compounded by the live attendance and the fans being back. So maybe WWE are a step ahead of the UFC is what I've thought reading this. I was a bit confused because we've already had fans back in WWE, and then everyone's going, oh, UFC's so much better when the fans are back. And I was thinking, we've been through all this already, but it looks like WWE are paying attention.
I think if WWE see UFC are putting shows back on with fans on a regular basis, I think they're going to follow suit pretty quickly. I mean, there's no rush for them to do that. They're at the Yingling Centre until August.
Yeah.
They've got a position there where they haven't got to up sticks and move again until the summer. And then by then we'll have SummerSlam. And Nick Card has said that once we have a live show in front of fans again, we won't go back. You know, once we're back, we're back.
Right.
So whether or not they make the decision to pull the trigger on that a little bit early, I mean, you could, if you've got the Yingling Centre, and if you are maybe wanting to bring fans back, but you don't want to go on the road, why not just sort of strip down the Thunderdome aesthetic and put fans in the Yingling Centre.
Yeah, I guess so. I just got a bit confused when you were saying that, and I thought, hang on, because Nick Khan's obviously high up in WWE. Is he like a sleeper agent for his cousin Tony?
Oh, dun 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 dun. Shifty eyes, shifty eyes, shifty eyes. Surely not, sir. Surely not.
Is it spelled the same way? I see. I don't know. I don't know this. I'm just throwing out facts.
He's just throwing out
theories.
Jack is throwing out facts right
no, I'm
there.
not throwing out facts. That was very inaccurate.
Here's a fact from Mustafa Ali.
Okay.
Via the power of social media. So Mustafa Ali quote retweeted a fan just the other night following a tweet that was put out by a fan. So the tweet that was clips from the Ali versus Murphy match from 205 Live a while back. They had a cracking no disqualification match where the steel steps got involved and there was a great Spanish fly off the barricade. Really great match. And Ali quote retweets clips of this match by saying, despite being a no DQ match, we were not allowed to use any traditional weapons or props at all. Out of frustration, I asked, can we use the effing steps? Bless you all, you can't hold me down. I feel bad, Ali. I mean, the great thing is that by not having access to quote-unquote traditional weapons, necessity is the mother of invention. What you had instead was a really creative, standout, no DQ match between two guys. But it does echo, once again, frustrations that Ali is very vocal about within WWE.
Yeah, it does. And I'm just wondering why they had a no DQ match without traditional weapons involved. Was it because maybe it was on 205 Live and they wanted to keep the action a little bit distinct from the rest of the roster, do you think?
Quite possibly. I think that there would have been no harm in using weapons and doing anything like that. I think that it's a strange one to say you're having a no DQ match, but don't do anything naughty. It's like WWE very much has a mental idea of how things should run and it's in their lane or not at all. So I'm glad that Ali pushed to at least use, quote, the effing steps in that match. Go find it on the network. It's a cracker. There's some good matches on 205 Live. It's still a thing, lest we forget. They record it before NXT now, and it suits it better in that smaller, more intimate environment. NXT was last night, by the way. We end on this, and it looks as if a new faction is on its way to NXT, Jack.
Yeah. So apparently there might be an MMA-themed faction being teased for NXT, because last night's show... Now, Tom, I've not actually seen last night's show, so I'm hoping that you've got a little bit more insight.
Well, I've watched the show and I've seen the vignette, and the vignette is really cool. The vignette, it's such a good vignette. It almost makes you feel that this might not even be a faction. This might even be a TV show, like the way that it's presented. So you get lots of shots of male and female athletes fighting and training in MMA style situations, and all the buzzwords appearing on the screen for fighters and skill and all that stuff, and then it ends with the logo for this faction, the Diamond Mine, and it's a logo that the camera spins around the logo, and it's all 3D, almost looks like a belt. I don't know whether that will become a thing, I don't know, but it certainly looks like a belt. So, but this is something that WWE has had on the back burner for quite a while, because it was back in December that they trademarked the name Diamond Mine. So this is something like an idea they've had for a while. Wrestling Inc. Actually, I've got to give some credit to the guys, the lads at Wrestling Inc. for spotting this, because I wouldn't have clocked this. The vignette itself shows athletes with the Fusion XL brand name on them. Now, Fusion XL, as discovered by Wrestling Inc., it's a fitness center based in Florida. It teaches adults and kids MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, fitness, kickboxing, group fitness, and all that jazz. Now, where they are based is about 20 minutes outside of Orlando, where the Performance Center is. And they also say, for what it's worth, Fusion XL also has a pro fight team with several MMA fighters under the brand.
Oh.
So whether that's just like the fact they've used their facilities for a bit, whether we will see some MMA style influence in what we're going to see with NXT, I don't know. But wow, it feels fresh. It feels, I'm intrigued. I feel like I feel like NXT and SmackDown are both giving us some really unique vignettes and promotional bits. And there's Raw. You know? And there's Monday Night Raw, just being Monday Night Raw.
Well, on Cultaholic.com this week, my feature, which is going out today, is going to be about that. Why Raw has been so critically panned recently, in the past 3 weeks specifically.
And you go into detail on what we think is going to happen and all that jazz. And...
I talk. It's more about the long and short term reasons for what has sort of broken the camel's back recently, and why Raw has found itself in this state. But I can't offer a solution. I don't know.
Or can you? Maybe later on at Cultaholic.com we will find out. Join Jack for that at Cultaholic.com a little later on today. And also, lest we forget, hashtag. I've forgotten the hashtag already. What was the hashtag?
Get Mojo to Adam Pacitti or something like that? Or get Adam Pacitti to Mojo?
It was simple. Well, there we go. Hashtag, get this. Hashtag, get Mojo to Adam Pacitti. You love it. Stay safe.
I've got a plug to do really quickly. Sorry.
Do a plug. Hang on. Let me rewind the love you bye. Bye, love you.
Okay, cool. I think that I should mention that me and Owen are, of course, streaming on Twitch at 6 p.m. Sorry, I nearly always say 6:30. I don't know why. It's 6 p.m. British time, and it's the end of season awards. So come along and vote for who should win various awards: goal of the season, player of the season, moment of the season, and our favourite, liability of the season.
Will you be suited and or booted?
No, not this time, unfortunately.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
what?
We're saving that for the next time we get to a cup final.
Well, maybe I'll put a suit on to make up for it when I play Legend of Zelda at 1 o'clock British summertime today at twitch.tv/Cultaholic.
I've missed your last few, Tom. Have you got out of that fish?
I'm out the fish.
Oh, yes.
I'm out the fish. I'm now just lost in the forest temple forever. But but I'm out of the. We're out of the fish. We're out of the fish. Good. Hashtag get Mojo to Adam Pacitti.
Out of the fish and into the forest temple.
That old phrase. Mm-hmm. Let's go. These people have got things to do. Look, there's some more videos there. Watch some of them. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.